Update for today, February the 1st. So I didn't work today, nor work in the schools. So, pop quiz, what did I do today? If you guessed, drive to Central Oregon to help my parents, congratulations, you just scored a point. So I am back here in Central Oregon and in the same place where I always film these, which, by the way, this pipe behind me is actually a walker for dad that frankly he never uses. But that's what this pipe you always see behind me and these ones from my parents' place actually is. So I came down here and we spent a little bit of time with dad today at the assisted living place where he currently is. And you know, here's another experience that kind of demonstrates kind of some of well the experience that folks have in places such as this. So, a couple of weeks back, they moved dad from one room over to another. And immediately, like the very first time that he presses this call button that they give him, it didn't work. And so you kind of just shout at the assistance people, and basically there was something wrong with the connection between there's like a button and a cord that comes out of the button that has a little trigger thing on it that then dad can press, which could then cause the button to go off. Okay, that's basically the system. There's maybe a short in the wire or something, but probably 2/3 of the time when you press that button, actually no, maybe about 1/3 of the time when you press that button, it just wouldn't do anything. Probably because again there's a short in there or something. And so you'd point this out to them, and what they would do is they would kind of jiggle the wire a little bit, tug on it, kind of press on it a little bit, and then it would start working again. Until it wouldn't. And that's the kind of way that things go when there's some kind of short or problem with the connection or whatever. It'll work occasionally, and then it will not work. And of course, you can't always replicate it. It will look like it's working, and then they would go on with their way. Which again, not blaming them because they have, I believe, in this facility 30 something people, like 35 different people that they're dealing with, and so it's always important to get on to the next thing. Well, what this does, because dad has paralysis on his left hand side, if he has like the little trigger button, but the big panel button thing is not like right in front of him, which is normally not because that's not where it's supposed to be. If that trigger button is not working, he can't press the button because he can't move to where it is, like where the main button is. He's got to rely on that trigger, and if that thing's not working, he can't get assistance with anything. And this could be anything from, restroom assistance to just getting some water to a pain pill or whatever it is that they need. Well, quite often hasn't been able to get those things. And this is kind of indicative of the type of situation that folks in these type of places are up against. And it's the same type of situation that we see in retail. You're understaffed. And you're within what the corporate mandates, or in this case, what the state mandates that you're supposed to have. The staffing levels that the state requires are posted right there, and they are compliant with them, by all means. And everybody that comes in, I do like to believe that every single human that is involved with this is, doing the very best that they can. But they're just understaffed, and, they have 14 more call alarms going off at the same time. And so it's just go in there, do enough to get that fire put out, and then move on to the next one. I totally get that that's how it is. That being said, it was about 2 weeks that this issue of dad's button not working a lot of the time. It just goes on and on and on. So this evening, one of the nurses who I happen to have a high degree of confidence is, partially management or something. finally start talking to her about it and start asking questions. Yeah, sure enough, there was something wrong with that wire. Sure. And once you finally got somebody who was committed and had a little bit of the time to actually deal with it, in under 10 minutes, the problem got fixed. But a couple of weeks of Dad just having to struggle along without being able to contact anybody because about a third of the time that button wouldn't work. And it took like 2 weeks. And again, this is not blaming anybody, it's just explaining how the system is. And it just doesn't seem ideal. And that's kind of why we would love to see Dad no longer in this place. And not just this one, but any place that's like it because of stuff like this. So that's one of those other, so that's an example of the type of thing that we're dealing with when I'm spending all this time down here. All right, well, I was gonna talk about one other thing, but honestly, it's just reacting to a stupid TikTok video, and maybe I'll go into that a bit tomorrow. Save that one for another day. All right, well, with that, thanks for joining me, and I'll look forward with talking with you again tomorrow. Maybe again and again and again and again and again, since tomorrow is going to be Groundhog Day. But we will look forward to talking to you again then. Ciao for now.